First and foremost, let's give it up for Spider-Man Brand New Day. You've earned it. Yeah, there you go. Take it in, take it in. Now that you've come down off your popcorn, coke-fueled high, let's talk about the facts. This movie is enjoyable, if not good, for the casual fans, which is why it hit 1 billion in 4 days. Hell, even I enjoyed it on that level. But being that I love well-written movies and I am a avid comic book fan that has been following the MCU since Iron Man 1, this is by far the weakest in the Sony MCU Spider-Man entry. This movie proved my point in the last video and absolutely deserves to have this universe reset.
You're gonna old yeller my fucking universe?
I don't mind waiting up 4 to 6 years for a properly fleshed out universe. Half of that time should be used writing out the roadmaps, power scales, and technological advancements. And then we drop the characters into these worlds and tell their stories. Will it be perfect? Absolutely not. But it will increase enjoyment, immersion, and most of all, fan excitement. So let's start with the most glaring issue. Spider-Man is confirmed to be in the MCU main timeline. In this version, it's 616. So Daredevil showed up in No Way Home, confirming that he is in the main timeline, which breaks the continuity of the Hand from being an ancient entity organization to being street thugs that now for some reason turned over a new leaf and is working for damage control of all people. And also, by bringing Daredevil into this universe, brings along the dreaded Defenders. That includes Luke Cage, Iron Fist. The less said about that show, the better. Jessica Jones, and all of their villains and events. Why does this matter, you ask? Well, if you don't remember, which most don't, in the Defender series, the Hand was trying to resurrect the dragon and take over the world, which showcases how ruthless they can be. But now they're just in Damage Control's back pocket, assumingly along with the head of the Hand. This could easily have been fixed with a line of dialogue saying something along the lines of, there are a few members that defected from the Hand and now they work with us. Also, in Daredevil Born Again Season 1, Kingpin shut down the whole city and Spider-Man was nowhere to be found. Punisher would also make his appearance in this season. So when did Peter and PG Punisher become besties? Keep in mind, Frank has been on the run since the events of Daredevil Born Again Season 1 and his one-shot Punisher One Last Kill. So tell me, how is Frank able to meet Spider-Man, do a mission, become friends, and walk freely around in Brand New Day? So this is the MCU's mainline version of Jean. Where is Cyclops? But most importantly, where is Professor X? You can't introduce mutants without Xavier being there, specifically due to the fact that Jean is one of the very first X-Men to be recruited. Sure, you can't say that they haven't formed yet or that the comics and the movies aren't the same, but are we seriously going to believe that the Charles Xavier and Magneto, who are both older than Jean, just sat around for years watching all the events of the MCU unfold and did nothing, or that they just gained their mutant abilities now at the ripe old age of 50? Giving more validation to why we need a hard reset and a master guide of established characters and rules.
He's out of line, but he's right.
So Jean's powers are completely wrong, but going off what the movie showed us, she's able to possess and body hop people within a 33-foot radius, which begs the question, how the fuck does that even work? So you mean to tell me Jean possesses someone and they gain her powers too? Sure, the effect looked pretty cool, but that makes no sense. Also, during the time of possession, it's shown that she can move around. How in the hell are you possessing people while doing something completely separate? Like looking in Peter's apartment and possessing MJ. Professor X can enter minds and possess people, but he can't do anything else outside of that, which has been established in this universe due to the fact that the TVA was introduced and the movie Deadpool and Wolverine. And please explain how Jean randomly gains her telekinesis powers and is immediately able to precisely control them to where she has glass hovering inches from damage control director Bill's face. Shout out Ebony Maw. We also have Peter in a span of a few weeks with no schematics from Bruce Banner, no R&D team, figuring out how to replicate and improve on Banner's tech, ultimately making it a universal inhibitor. This is why the tech in these films need to be grounded, not in realism, but in manufacturing them. See, if everything is readily available, that lowers the stakes. Because if you can magically, with very little effort, obtain and build new devices you need without proper research and development, that means you don't have to be conservative with how you use it. Not to mention, what are the implications of making these devices? This should cause some kind of uproar with superheroes and civilians, like it did in Captain America Civil War. I'm curious, does anybody remember Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? No?
Okay.
Agent Coulson was a part of the MCU, pretty much organizing the heroes and monitoring threats. Agent Coulson effectively died in the Avengers movie, and then they gave him his own spin-off TV show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which introduced a whole bunch of heroes, most notably Robbie Reyes' Ghost Rider. That being said, Ryan Gosling can't play Robbie Reyes, so he can only play Johnny Blaze, since he hasn't been abducted into the MCU timeline yet. There are far more issues with other show continuities, but we'd be here for hours and I'm not getting paid yet from YouTube. So I'll let that defrost. But to update and recap from my last video, Marvel needs to do the following. Get these copyright issues resolved. The fact that you can't use the word mutant is absolutely ridiculous. Halt production on everything post Doomsday. Make revenue sharing deals like you did for Spider-Man. Lay down the rules of power scaling, magic, and technology use and growth. Establish every character that exists and the proximity to each other and the level of threat that they will respond to. Establish every company and agency that will operate in this world and how their jurisdiction works and the effects it has on the heroes. Stop undoing what came in the immediate previous films, i.e., Peter giving up his friends to keep them safe. We could have just moved on to Gwen, Harry, and Felicia, and in the future had a reunion or something. Stop letting these villains get off scot-free after doing horrific things, like Wanda and Jean did. And before I go, is it me or did Spider-Man get taller in his fight scenes? Anyway, that's it for this vid. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I'll see you later.